Hey y'all, how are you? It's Burgess Taylor, or Journey with Burgess, and today we're going to talk journals and planners. It's journal talk time. I know where I wrote it, and now I don't see them.
They disappeared that fucking quick. I really need to get the tag off. Alright. Now let's fix this mop in the hair.
Today we are going to talk about journals and planners. Oh my, it's journal talk, our planner talk day. My question, have you ever tossed a planner or a journal to the wayside? You know, that spot for all the journals or planners that weren't the right one, that didn't work. I have, but I haven't. Sometimes I repurpose. Sometimes I toss to the side. Sometimes I actually gut and use for other things. Sometimes I'll put one to the side and start a whole new one. Sometimes I put one to the side, I buy a new one. Depends on whether I've got some in my stash, something in my stash I really want to use or try. It has become a sort of habit of starting a new planner or a new journal after a few weeks or a few months or 6 months. It depends on the journal or the planner. Many times it is because either it's not the right one, or it wasn't working, or there was something about it, or I messed up, like royally messed up. There have been a couple over the few years that where I actually, like, I spilled coffee or juice or water. That's why I switched to pretty much almost always using waterproof ink, no matter what kind of pen it is. I have ADHD, depression, and anxiety. I know that part of that is part of the tossing to the side that is due to that. It's the need for the fun, motivated, for the fun and motivating, inspiring, that newness thing that comes with starting a new journal or a new planner. For somebody with ADHD, that's like, whoo, that's like a chocolate bar. The current old or the old one, when you're feeling that way, often feels like you feel this resistance. You feel this analysis paralysis. You've got this procrastination going on. You don't feel comfortable. You've even maybe got some fear, some perfectionism, any one of these things. I've heard the term Procrasti-Planning. That makes sense to me in a way. But I think it's more than that, and what I have to remind myself of is that the journal or the planner, they're tools. That's all. Planners are tools to help us keep track of things, to help us keep organized, to help us do the things. But when you have ADHD, a lot of times you want to do all the things all the time. Yeah. You want to do all the things in all the things all the time, and you want to do them yesterday. Sometimes I have started a new journal because there's like a project that I'm trying to do, or that I'm trying to keep up with, or that I'm trying to be accountable for, and I'm having issues with it. Maybe I'm avoiding doing some of those things, or maybe I'm avoiding changing something that I need to change to make things better. It could be I'm not getting things done, and so maybe I think that if I change things, I'll be able to get more done. But the planner is just a means to an end. And the journal, I mean, let's just be honest, we can journal in anything. Technically, we can journal in anything. All you need is a pencil or a pen and some paper. But one of the problems with the planner thing is that in order for the planner to work, You have to work with the planner. You have to do the work. You have to keep it up to date. You have to maintain things. You have to use it. And maybe it's your system and not the planner. Maybe you need to change your system. I've worked on my system. I've done quite a bit of deep dive into my planner system. Things worked pretty decently for me when I used to use just a calendar and a running to-do list. I used a desk calendar and a pocket calendar, and they had the same things in them. And I used a running to-do list. And it was just usually on like a legal pad or in a notebook or, a composition book or whatever. The fancier I got with the planner stuff, the less things worked. Because I guess in the back of my head, okay, I've set this stuff up, I'm doing this stuff. But it looks pretty on paper. But if you're not doing the work, the pretty paper, and the way that it looks, it's not helping. So I started doing a deep dive into the behind the scenes stuff. The behind the scenes stuff of what do I really need to be doing? What are my real priorities? And I started trying to break things down because with ADHD, okay, great, you can see the end picture. And okay, great, I've got a high IQ. I can set up, the steps, the SMART goal kind of thing. I've read Getting Things Done. I've read Miracle Morning. I've read Atomic Habits. I tend to try to stack habits. But I get distracted so easily and frustrated so easily and forget so many things that one of my basic core rules for myself is write it down. Write it down. If I don't write it down, I'm not going to remember it. That means that if I'm writing things down, if I'm writing things down in one thing and then rewriting them in another place, it's not going to hurt me. The redundancy of writing things down in multiple places is not going to hurt me. Believe me. What am I trying to avoid whenever I change things? Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who do love to change planner covers, planners, sizes, and I'm one of those people. But sometimes it's not about changing the size or the cover or the type of journal or the type of planner. Sometimes it's Procrasti-Planning. So how do I tell the difference? That's one of the things I'm working on. And because I have recently changed things, I decided I was going to go more minimal. Now, I've done this before. Y'all know how I work. If you've been watching me for a while, minimal's not my style. Let's talk about what I am doing and how I'm doing it and what I can do. And the things that make sense, and maybe the things that haven't been making sense, but I've been doing them anyway. Perfectionism maybe too. Now, don't get me wrong. For those of us who journaling as a hobby and you enjoy switching and that works for you, I think that's wonderful. Miss Vicky B said a long time ago, she was talking about her bullet journal and her planner stuff. And I don't remember which one at the time because I don't remember the exact video. But I remember her saying that her planner was her assistant. I recognize that that is one of the keys. You need to carry it with you. Your journal, your planner, your idea notebook. I've been rewatching D.D. Willingham's Society of Ideas series, and I have changed some things because one of the things that I realized is that, okay, I have an idea. I throw it down in my planner or my bullet journal, and then I review it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that idea. But then I never move it anywhere that's stationary that I can go back to and go, oh yeah, these are those ideas I was thinking about. So I need a place where I have my ideas, a central location. I also need a place that is a central location for all of the plans and like the planning. And I have that. And as we endeavor to have these things that we're going to be using for 2023, one of the things I've been thinking about is what am I doing and how am I doing it? As I started thinking realistically, I came this close to buying a Hobonichi Weeks when I got my Hobonichi cousin. I came this close to buying a Hobonichi A6. I was like, the Hobonichis. But I didn't. And I'll tell you why. I have not used my Weeks. It's over there in one of those baskets. I think it's in the basket right down here, as a matter of fact. I haven't used it. I've used it on and off. I probably used it for a total of maybe a fourth of the year. Mostly I've used it for grocery lists. I have used it a tiny bit as an everyday carry, but I really find that the A6 works the best as an everyday carry. And that's why instead of buying the Hobonichi Techo A6 for next year, I didn't. I went in my stash and I found a Nanami paper cafe note in the A6, and I have it. One of the other things is my A5 Omni Journal. I'm going to show you that. I set it up for October. It did such a wonderful job. I loved how creative and colorful and expressive. But then I didn't leave myself enough room for this past week in the tracker portion, in the log portion, and I did do the dailies, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is just not working. But I did have here in the B6 Hobonichi cousin I cut down, it's actually a B6 Plus, I did have stuff, and I was like, well, this works okay, but and I'm going back and forth, I'm going back and forth. This is my central location. This is where I have all of the main stuff, but I don't carry this around with me. This goes in my backpack in the house, and it stays in the studio. I don't take this with me. The problems I had with the Omni Journal, one, my OCD, my perfectionism, after I set it up, because this is what I was using as a journal. I'm going to pull the camera down for a minute. This is heavy, and although I don't mind this one ending up like used and, you know, like I have thoroughly loved it and enjoyed it, this is heavy. I have rheumatoid arthritis and tendonitis. Neck, shoulders, yeah. Can't carry something this heavy around. So that wasn't going to work. Although I love the A6, and this has a calendar in it, and I could very well have used this for my bullet journal. A6 doesn't work very well for me for that because I need a little bit more room. I love this for journaling though, and for note taking, for being an everyday carry. If I'm out and about and have an idea, I will write it down. Then I'll transfer it to where I need to transfer it to, because that's mandatory. I need to write it down.
Have to write it down.
And two, you have to review and then transfer to an appropriate place so that you can keep up with things. This stays in my purse or on me. I carry it around with me. If I'm going somewhere and I don't need all of the purse and the wallet and everything, I can take my driver's license and my debit card and anything that's like I might need, and throw it in here and use it. The only thing it doesn't have, unfortunately, is a zipper. I can put change in my pocket, so it's not like a big deal. So this is what I keep with me all the time. Now, I had used this during September. I had cut Crossfield from Nanami paper down to standard. I'm using it as a bullet journal for the last half of August, and for a wee bit of September. Decided that I like the list, and I don't mind like writing, journaling in here. It's heavy. And even if I used one of the thinner traveler's notebooks and this, it was still heavy. I turned this into my morning thoughts. You can see I have a pen with I lost the cap. I've got to put a new elastic on this. So that's what this is. I love it. I use it. It goes with me in my backpack. I take this because sometimes I write my morning pages in here. I'm going to call it their morning thoughts. I don't always do stream of consciousness, but I try to always do morning thoughts. Like I always try to journal in the morning. Try to empty the inbox, if you will. I don't know, a couple of years ago, it's been a good while now, I bought this, new to me, from Bree, from Documented Journey, and it's from Sojourner, and it is this gorgeous purple croc. I don't know if you've noticed, but I went from the red Traveler's Notebook stuff to black and purple. I don't know, I'm feeling I needed a change. The thing I love about the Gilios is that they're like a burgundy wine color, so they're like a cross between a purple and a red. They're definitely more plum. This is a B6 Slim. What I have done is I started out thinking about this a good while back. Started trying to go through my stash. I knew I had a few of them because what was in here originally was a lined Nanami paper cafe note, and I had one of the old cafe notes with the square at the top and then the 3 squares at the bottom, but it had been partially used. And I knew, like, I have this idea notebook that's for private stuff, for like passwords and anything that I kind of need to remember that's private because I'm going to forget. So I keep that because I'm almost always in B6. This is B6 Slim, and it fits right in here. I needed something that I could carry with me. Like if I'm going somewhere and I need more than just, you know, like I needed something that was light enough that could go either instead of this or with this, that they could work together. Because I've got other things, but my system, the way that I work, my planning is processing. I heard a couple of different people talk about that. Carrie Harleen has talked about that. Miss Vika B has talked about that. Allie Brown talked about that recently. I think when she was talking about the Wonderland 222 A6 that she was planning in, I would never have thought I'd have used a B6 Slim. A lot of people that I knew, they used B6 Slim and they swore by it. And I was like, y'all, that's just too little. It's too skinny. It's too little. I was all A5 back then. But the more that I have found myself physically in pain, with chronic pain, with the rheumatoid arthritis and stuff, the more that I've realized that it's not so much about what I want sometimes, it's about what I need. And what I needed was something lighter, something I could carry around either in my hand or in my purse. Like I've got an A6 sketchbook now, and I love it because it's portable. I'm going to show you what I'm doing in both of the B6 Slim and the A6, and we're going to talk some more about some more journal stuff. I'm going to show you the A5 Omni Journal, because although I have bullet journal stuff in it, and it will be staying in here, or it will be in the house with me, and I will be doing more journaling and note taking when I'm reading books, documenting life, that kind of stuff. I am not going to be doing daily to-dos in there. It's not going to be that kind of, I'll show you. So I'm going to start with the A6 because I actually set it up first. I set it up, I have this autumn because I plan seasonally. So I have September here, and what I started, I'm still doing this. Then we have a quote here, and I have October, November, and I'm writing down anything that is an event or an appointment or a project, something I need to remember. So it is and isn't a future log. I wrote down some things about autumn and the intention for fall, what it's about. It's about getting into a positive mindset, a more positive mindset, a cleaner, more organized studio, better, healthier habits, a happier place with my journaling and my planning, the habit of daily, weekly, and monthly reflection and review, creative way of doing my own doodles and etc. instead of using stickers. Now I am using what I have. I'm on a low spend, no spend. I'm only buying things I absolutely need, like ink for my printer and things like that. It's also about moving, walking daily, drinking more water. The journal talk series, the coffee self-talk series, which I'm going to be starting on Patreon probably this week. Changes in the system. So then I have winter and enough pages, and then spring, and then summer. So this is just the small version, so that if I'm out and about and I get an idea for, say, the summer season, I can write it down. And then we have, this says 2022 because this will continue on. I don't write in this every day. I've got October and a calendar, so if I'm out and about and I take my mom somewhere or somebody calls and we have an appointment, I write it down. Like right now, I have some things that I need. This is where I have this stuff, the things I need to do. I want to have the basic core important things listed so that I can go, okay, that's what I have. I do some journaling sometimes. This is talking about self-talk. I was sitting and waiting for my son, and I did some journaling because I had the book with me, thinking about what notebook or how I'm going to use, what I'm going to use for this coffee self-talk. She's got books about it. There's a whole series. I have them right back there. And then I had some ideas, and I was thinking about the B6 Slim. So this I had started planning out and thinking about on the 26th of September. And I was thinking about my ideal setup for 2023. So I can keep track of, I have this TN for coffee chats. Okay, so the coffee chat TN, which is right here. And then this is where I can jot things down. That's why it's lined. I used what I had. This I had used. It is from Pebble Stationery Company. It is a dot grid notebook with Tomo River paper in it. I was using it as a bullet journal last year for a while in November. I love what I've got in here. But so I paper clipped, and then this is this. And when I finish this, I will write down the journal talk And I'm going to go back and look up the date for the first one for y'all. And I will write it. And I'm going to have the date, where it was put, YouTube, Patreon. And I'll keep up with that. That way I know what coffee chats I've actually done. And then this is the ideas notebook. So if I have ideas for coffee chats, and I've got some that I need to transfer into here. Just haven't done that yet. And I realize this is probably teacups. But a teacup is a coffee cup to me. I drink hot tea and coffee, and I drink them in the same mugs, cups. I won this a good while back, and I decided to put some of these too. And then around the 28th and the 29th, I had to do preparation for Hurricane Ian. So I wrote down our list of things, and then wrote down, somebody in one of the news things said, "Run from the water and hide from the wind." I think that was our governor, McMaster, who said that when he was talking during one of the things, because he had filed a state of emergency. This is an idea that I have. I want to talk about planning with ADHD. And then this right here, some of the things I want to do for October. Journaling and how it helps, mistakes in journals, cover them, leave them, tear them out. That's another thing I want to talk about. So these will actually go in there for coffee chats or journal talks. This is all I have in here. Like I said, I'm not in this every day. I haven't really been out. So this, let me move my hair off of it, is the Omni Journal. And it is the Document Life Journal. I had started it. I've been documenting life in it. But I got really busy with the studio stuff. I've been trying to clean and declutter and reorganize things. We've been doing that in the house too. We've also been fixing things in the house. Then we have just journaling. You know, sometimes it's for a day, sometimes it's a whole week. That's something I'm still working on. This is Danny Gregory's the creative license, and I'm going through and playing around with some of it. So then I left some pages blank. This is for anything that might happen, like future log wise. I'm just going to go back in here and put the little calendars. I haven't done that yet. I'm not sure I'm going to now. So we have the autumn equinox. That was what was going on September 22nd when it changed to fall. And then this October setup. Now these are not the actual tarot cards I pulled. These were stickers I had. I'm trying to use up what I have. The cards that I pulled for October were the Page of Cups, the Wheel, and the Page of Wands. And then the Oracle card I pulled was Confident. So I did this. Owls is my main theme for October. You might see other things like witches. That's her underneath the house. You know, you might see little spiders and pumpkins and skulls. But the big thing is the owls. That I just thought was really cute. And I put the little, like, it reminded me in a way of certain one thing, and then in the other way it reminded me of something. So I put the little apple there because like it reminded me of Sleeping Beauty, or like a more goth kind of Sleeping Beauty thing. Then this is home, studio, self. These are my, like, what I was thinking about. This is the journaling. This is how I process things. So I haven't written anything in here yet. We have the October log. We have the affirmations. This was inspired by Barbara Hager art. One of the things that I need to do, I need to go in and fill this in. I just haven't yet. But it is the very, very beginning of October. Like I said, I was inspired by Barbara Hager art. I did change it up a little bit, but the owl with the glasses was so adorable. This is Patreon, and these are some of the things that I'm working on during the 17-week challenge that I had started. This is my content calendar after I get it done and it goes up. This is gratitude. Like I said, I've got this elsewhere. Some of it's in another journal, a notebook, whatever. And then other things are on Post-it notes. And I will put them in here. This is YouTube's. And this is my tracker, which I've not done anything with yet. And I need to. I will transfer some of the stuff here. This is this week. Like, I put this in here for the weekly thing. I started doing, and I did the self-talk stuff. I did do the end of September, and then this was my first attempt at a content schedule beforehand for Patreon and YouTube. And then this is one that I did, and it is still messy, but I actually took a picture of it and posted it on Patreon. And then this is something that I put in here because I had messed up. You can see the calendar lines behind here. So I glued these two pages together. And then I put this here, and I'm going to do some journaling because this is part of what we're talking about today. When you're considering trying something new, pay attention to how you talk to yourself about it. Is the fixed mindset telling you that you don't want to look a fool? Or is the growth mindset telling you to try? I almost didn't talk about this very subject in this journal talk series because so many people are like, well, I only use this, or I don't have that issue, or why do you switch? Why are you always changing planners and changing journals, flip-flopping back and forth? And it's a very judgy kind of thing. And there's already this comparison mindset with social media, this perfectionism, very aesthetically perfect. People are putting their things down and they've got, the desk is pretty and they've got their candle and their little crystals, or their candle and their little flowers, or, and it looks so neat. Forget the ink stain that won't come off, the gesso or white acrylic paint that won't come off, where this is tearing right here. Nope, that's old glue. This is ripping up. If I were to show you the edge of the desk, I can't worry about all that. If I let myself with the anxiety worry about every single thing, I will never get any of the videos done. I already have enough trouble with my anxiety with other things like these pages not being right, or messing up something, or not having this beautiful aesthetic. I'm just not, I am a messy, creative, chaotic journaler, planner. I am all over the place, and I'm very creative, and I can do the aesthetic, that clean, but it takes a lot of work, and I don't have the time to do that when I could be doing all these other really creative things. To me, that's the important thing, is to actually being creative. Maybe I can clean off a spot, or something, make that my take pictures for Instagram and for the Facebook group place. I don't know that I just don't know. Every once in a while I'll do it, but most of the time I just make sure the space is kind of cleared and I take the picture. And then I have, treat yourself the way you would treat a good friend. Would you be so hard on her if she also had a bad day? Because some of these things are things that I've been thinking about, and so I kind of want to journal about them. So this is the place where I do the journaling about my creative thoughts, ideas, opinions, feelings, where I document life, my life, other things going on, where I'm documenting all kinds of things. Sometimes it's more text journaling with a little bit of collage. Sometimes it's more art journaling. It can be any number of things, but this is the bigger picture stuff. Now, like I talked about, this is the Hobonichi that I cut down. It's the core planner. I need to make time for October. Here is October right here. I don't really have anything here yet. I think I'm going to put things that get done, because on these pages I have things that I'm doing, the things that I want to do. Fixing the kitchen sink with David, cleaning and straightening up the studio, I'm filming now, this kind of thing. So I will write down things that need to be for tomorrow, which I've already done in the bullet journal, because I know that with today, the things that we have, the amount of things that we have to do today, I'm not going to be able to get everything done. So this is the B6 Slim. This is by St. Bonaventure. How we choose and what we choose make a difference in what we become and in what the world becomes. Hey y'all, it's Editing Burgess, and I thought I'd go ahead and give you an update, because what I had in the footage is over a week old, and I thought I'd update because I have done a few things and I thought I'd show you. So like I said, this is a B6 Slim. It is a Nanami Cafe Note. It is grid. And I have a few things stuck in here. I do have a contents page, and I did stick a clear plastic cover right here. What I'd like to do is take this sometimes with me. I could stick a pin in this pocket. Right now I have something from Mrs. Brimbles in here. It just won't stay up. And then I can take this with me if I needed to. It can go with the A6 in my purse, or I could just take it with me with the pen and tuck things inside here. And that's one of the reasons I have this here, in case I need to make sure something is secure. This is sort of a vision board. I put some of the things that, I'm sorry for the glare, some of the things that are important to me, my vision, my dream of how I want to spend my time, some of the things that are important to me, the things I am grateful for, things I need to remind myself of. So we've got a tarot spread. She's sitting and reading. I've got a bird. I love to listen to the birds sing in the mornings. It's one of my favorite things to do in here when I'm journaling and drinking my coffee. This is my desk. It looks quite a bit different than that now. She's journaling, reading and journaling. She's got a pen in a hand. It's a cup of coffee. A note to self. Every little step today is necessary. Just keep doing your best and don't force what is not yet supposed to fit into your life. When it's meant to be, it will be. That's Victor licking the spoon from a bowl. That's Selena. She's got something in her hand and she's watching cartoons and she's telling us about something. Dave and I went to Universal at the beginning of the year. This is a cup of coffee and what looks like maybe a bullet journal. And I put the sticker that says love, a cup of hot cocoa. She's drinking a cup of coffee. This says give thanks. This is David coming out of the room that's on the back of our house, which is sort of his tool room. And it says I can do this, and I have this that says celebrate because we had finished fixing some things around the house. And I just have little stickers like the laptop and little hearts, naughty or nice decisions. Just a few little things, important reminders. Then we get to the future log, and I did separate this a bit and combined what would be some things that came from the Wonderland 222. So I have my future log, and then I have things separated into seasons. So I'm separating and using goals and things and putting projects down and stuff like that. And then I have them separated like summer, fall. So we've got winter. This is fall. And then we get to winter and then spring. And then we get to summer and then fall again. And then we will get to winter again in December of next year. And then I have the rest of the future log until December of next year. And then I have a space. And then I have, this is October. Hello, October. It's not what you look at that matters. It's what you see. And this vellum came from the Wonderland 222. I had cut some down. It is a bit smaller than a regular B6. So because I couldn't use it again unless I used it in another Wonderland 222 B6 and I don't have one, I went ahead and put it in here. This is a sticker from, I think, the Antiquarian sticker book. I watercolored the owl. When the owl sings, the night is silent. And then this is broken up to the different weeks and what I need to do. I've got a sticker that needs to go over here because I actually put something up on Patreon and I need to remember I did that. I put a video up on the Journey with Burgess YouTube channel if you want to check that out. That's about some astrological based oracle cards. And then we have my October log, and I'm a little bit behind in this. And then I have my to-dos, which I'm actually pretty decently caught up with. This was my review for September. This was an affirmation. We had Hurricane Ian, and I wrote these down. This was for Friday, and this was for Saturday. I did this, wasn't a real fan of it, so I have tracker stuff elsewhere. These are October expenses. This is some information that I wrote down about some video stuff I want to do. This was last week. I wanted to make sure that I had a weekly, and I cut this out of a Muji planner because it's set up very similar to the weeks. My only problem with the weeks, which is why like I said, I came this close to ordering one, I don't like the cream paper. So then I have some things I wanted to cover. I'm in the process. I've filmed most of the stuff for this. I just need to put it all together for Patreon. This was the second. This was the third. This is the content, and I kind of shortened it. This is some information I wrote about for Patreon's coffee chat. This is some things I'm working on for the studio, some goals, a plan of action, so to speak, for doing some of the work I want to do in the studio. I've got a bookcase to clear out and move, and my daughter's going to fix it, and it's going to go in Selena's room. This was Tuesday, and I've been putting the oracle cards that I pull on the days. This was Thursday and Friday, and then I have Saturday here, but I haven't went in and filled everything in. And today is Sunday. And I have things that I've done, but I haven't listed them because I've been busy all day long and out of the house. I got up this morning to my daughter waking me up because we had plans to go shopping for her birthday, which is this coming Friday. I had to go get her some minion marshmallow little stuffed. I have some back here. You can see them. So I have the little Grim Reaper. I don't know their names. I have the little cat with the witch hat. Nope, that's a fox with the witch hat, and I have a little cat with the fortune teller thing. I have the frog, and the frog's in the house because I gave that one to David. I will be writing things down and putting them in here. I have been checking out this Pentel Energel liquid gel, so I thought while I'm doing this, I thought we'd kind of talk for a minute about it's weird to be in a B6. It really is. I would never have thought I'd have been in a B6 Slim, not a B6, in a B6 Slim, because I love B6. But the issue is pain, my health, self-care, and that's what I have to think about. It's important. It's going to rain this evening. So let's see if this is actually... Oh, wow. Okay. I'm pretty pleased. It is waterproof enough. I have found my new favorite pen. It's the Metal Tip 0.7 Energel Liquid Gel Ink. I'm loving these. I'm using this in conjunction with the A6 that stays in my purse. And then I'm using the B6 Plus. And then I have the A5 Omni Journal. And that works fine for me because this goes back and forth with me into the house. This sometimes goes back and forth with me with the A6 in my purse. Sometimes it just goes in the house and I'll take these. And then one of my pouches. And sometimes I use the big backpack. And then sometimes I use the smaller backpack. It depends on whether I'm bringing watercolors and all of that stuff with me. But I'm really happy with this. It's just been really busy. And most of the writing has actually been elsewhere. So I like how I'm keeping things together and what I'm using and how I'm using it. And it makes a lot of sense to me because I didn't need as much whenever I was in the house. Now that I'm in the studio, some things can go back and forth easily and some things not so much. I have done all different kinds of things when it comes to procrasti-planning, procrasti-journaling. I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm done with worrying about how things look. I usually do, this is the planning portion, which is really weird because this is the actual planner. And then I go in here and I will write down what I got done. And sometimes I separate it. And sometimes I have like like different things. So this was a day where I did Oracle and Tarot and then did some journaling. I did my intentions and things for the day. I wrote some stuff out, wrote affirmations, and then I was doing some gouache testing. This is the new A6 sketchbook. I was just doing my bag. The bag's over there. It's got ink stains on it. This was just doing different things. So some days more than others. Some days different things. Like I said, I use these in conjunction. I will go through and do some more. I'll go through and do a flip of each one and talk about it because I have some blank pages. I have some pages where I've done planning. I've got pages where I've done more journaling. I've got pages where I just stuck a few things down and left it at that to represent some of the things that I did that day. I think if I continued down the path of letting my anxiety win, letting that fear win, letting that perfectionism win, I would continue and continue and continue and continue to change journals up, change sizes up. But what I really want, which is what I'm going to be working towards the rest of this year and in 2023, what I really want is a planner and a journal, a planner and a bullet journal and a journal to work together. That's why I have different sizes, because they work towards different things. The A6 is an everyday carry. It'll last however long it lasts, and then I'll get another one and I'll be doing the same thing. Thought about getting the day-free Hobonichi because I don't really daily journal in that. That's one of the main reasons I didn't get the A6 Hobonichi is because I'm not in it every day. I'm in it when I need to be in it, and then the rest of the time it just stays in my bag because I use that when I'm out and about and I need to look in the calendar or take notes. These I'm in every single day. These two. I'm also in the A5 Hobonichi Cousin every single day for the most part. I'm also in the Morning Thoughts journal or the composition notebook. I'm going to say mostly every day I'm in them. But there are days when I'm not in anything really. Those are the days that are really bad, and I might do a little tiny bit. Most every day, though, I do some kind of journaling, whether it's just morning thoughts, or I write things down here, or I write things in here. But I'm not usually in every single one of them on those days at all. And then there are days when I'm in some of them and not in all of them. I've got a routine going on what is working better for me. That's based on the amount of pain that I have in my hands or in my neck and shoulders because of the rheumatoid arthritis. That way I know, okay, well, I only have this many spoons. What is the most important thing? I need a few to-dos. And then maybe I'll do all the main stuff in here. Like I'll do the journaling and a little bit of writing in here. And because this is not really that big either. And then that's it. I don't go into everything. And then later I'll go back to the other journal and then I'll fill in things whenever I'm feeling better. My hands are feeling better. I do sometimes take time when I'm watching television or watching a movie, when David and I are, relaxing, and I will sit with my lap desk and get some of the journaling done so I can get caught up on things. But I'm not pressuring myself anymore to be in every single one of these every single day and to have it like, no blank pages, no blank space. I'm not stressing myself over it. I had outpatient surgery this day, and I was not up to doing all the journaling and everything these 2 days. Then I got back to feeling better and started doing more stuff. Journaling makes me feel better. It really does. I'm working on things. I've got some journal prompts. I'm continuing to make art daily no matter what. So whether it's in my sketchbook or a journal, every single day for the past few months I have been creating some kind of art, even if it's just a doodle. Even if it's just something like the bag or the sketchbook. So, y'all have a great one, and I will see y'all again real soon. Let me know if you procrastinate, journal, if you, have days when you just, I don't know, maybe you'd rather set up a whole new notebook or a whole new bullet journal than go to your to-dos for that day and do what you're supposed to be doing, or what your priority things are for that day. Because sometimes there are certain projects maybe we don't want to work on. And I'm finding that maybe instead of setting up a whole new journal, what I could do is just get my sketchbook out and do some doodling. And not even worry about the planner or the journal and just do some doodling. Or maybe get my composition notebook out or write down some thoughts and ideas. Not stress myself out over something. Just get some of the things on paper. If I can just start, sometimes it works better. Y'all have a great one, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye, y'all.